Hi.
Walking with love. This is the neighborhood of love.
It's not particularly the nicest day, but it's bright out.
Yeah,
It's been
kind of
raining.
overcast.
It's been raining all day. Well,
Yeah.
not all day.
Probably shouldn't record the license plates of people's cars.
No. Ignore that.
A6, A5.
Oh, look, A4.
Oh.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, 0,
So,
0, and 0.
what Dead Space is about is,
Dead Space?
yeah.
What about Dead Space?
So, Albert Einstein boards the USS Lewis and Clark, and he has to go and defeat the subspace emissary who has possessed the
Equals MC
the
squared.
crew of Lewis and Clark.
Oh, no.
He uses
Oh, hi.
mining tools
Hello.
and pencils and pens, things you can
Hello.
find in Staples. Like he'll take binders
Yes.
and he'll just throw them at the people's heads.
Today?
And-
Right now.
And they
I
have
have
stuff.
No money.
You have stuff? What do you have?
We have Monster, peach
Hello.
tea, and lemonade.
Oh, I don't drink energy drinks.
Sure. Catch me on Facebook. We'll try to figure something out. Right now, I'm just hanging with Chris. It's Wesley.
It's Wesley.
It's Wesley.
It's Wesley.
Wesley. All right. So I'll catch you later. All right.
He's that guy who said "Fadu" in that one video that I made.
Oh, hi. Okay. Bye.
So, anyways, Albert Einstein is on the USS Clara Santa Maria.
Lewis and Clark in the subspace emissary.
No, not the subspace emissary. He's fighting clones of Sean Connery. And the reason he's fighting clones of Sean Connery is because on the planet Talon 4, there was this virus, this Sean Connery virus that infected the crew who was planet-side. And so they did a cork-popping operation where they all took a bunch of champagne bottles and they popped them all at once to see if the Earth would explode from the sound. Or not the Earth, Talon 4. Right.
Roman numeral 4.
Earth was actually already blown up because they tried that on Earth and it was a really bad idea. But they thought it was really funny, so they like doing it to other planets. So basically, Albert Einstein with his group of skinny ninnies,
Skinny nitty.
that's what he calls them. It's an endearing
In the
character
most
trait.
respectful way, mind you.
Yeah, of course. He has the utmost respect for his team, except for that one guy who keeps going, root the power, damn it. And
All you need
he
is
kind of hopes that guy dies.
4.2 gigawatts or whatever the number is.
5.21
How is that
gigawatts.
screen looking? Is it wet?
No, it's actually looking alright.
Alright, because it's drizzling right now.
Yeah,
I feel the wetness on my arms.
it's drizzling a little bit, but otherwise we're good.
Rain never hurt nobody,
Rain never hurt nobody.
except for the witches.
Yeah. And
It's soda melted.
and vampires. No, wait, not vampires. But yeah, Albert Einstein on the USS Santa Clara. I can't really remember the name of the ship, but he's fighting against clones of Pee Wee Herman. And
Oh god.
and he has to use pens and pencils, and he also uses erasers. In fact, his most trusty tool is erasers. He just takes them out of a little bag and he kind of throws them at Pee-wee, and Pee-wee is just so weak to erasers that he just turns into this pile of goo and dies.
I wish you told me this beforehand, so I actually could add to the story.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing this all improvised, so just add whatever you want to add, because I
And
have
Pee
no
Wee
fucking
Herman,
idea.
the goo, it all sinks into the sewers and connects and
And forms this big
forms
amalgam.
a big mountain. A mountain.
A
of
living
men.
mountain.
A living mountain. The mountain is alive. It's still a mountain. It's just alive.
Does it have feet and arms?
It has some toes.
Does
but
it have some fingers?
toes and fingers? but no legs or arms.
And does it have any large zits or?
No, but it does have a nice giant mohawk.
Okay.
It's a rainbow mohawk,
All right.
and it likes to play poker.
Okay.
But only on Friday nights
All
between
right.
6:01 and 7:09.
And Albert Einstein has to defend the USS Chunky Monkey
Chunky Monkey.
by arming the potato turret and shooting this just huge, we don't even know what, this tomahawk throwing, finger and toe having, mohawk wearing creature.
Yes.
He has to shoot potatoes at it because that's the only thing that can mess up its hairdo. And when you mess up its hairdo, it gets pissed and it shrinks to a very small candy-sized mountain.
A candy mountain.
And so Albert
size, of
Einstein, once defeating the monster, he picks it up, and to stop all other infections, he eats the mountain, and he becomes an evil possessed thing. But before he
Before that
completely
happens-
loses control, he throws himself into the vacuum of deep space, and he
Turns
tears
into-
off his pants, and he starts disco dancing with the Golden Girls. And that's the end of Dead Space.
That's the best ending I've ever heard in my entire life.
But that's just Dead Space 1. There's actually a sequel.
Dead Space 2. Don't even get me started.
There's a sequel wherein you have Isaac Clarke is now an old man, and he's
And
in a
his
nursing
daughter,
home.
Samus Aran.
His daughter is Samus Aran, and he's in a nursing home. His daughter is visiting him for Father's Day, and for some reason all of the nurses are acting very strange, and they all have the faces of men. They're male nurses, and nobody knows why. They just really like the job.
Figures, but
They have female figures, but they
female
have
figures.
like really musky beards, and they're really gritty and manly looking. And they look like, they would be toting guns like Sylvester Stallone or
but
Jason
they're quite
Statham.
nice.
But they're very nice.
But they're acting weird on this day.
But they're acting weird. They're kind of, they're just very distant, kind of zoning out. And it isn't long before they start sprouting vegetables out of their foreheads. And
then
the
they
vegetables,
turn them into shoes.
they turn them into shoes, and they throw them at people, and it kind of hurts the elderly because they don't like having shoes being thrown at them.
And if they're thrown at other people, besides the elderly, they turn into stones.
Right. And so Samus Aran and Isaac Clarke
Team up.
to defeat these vegetable-headed male nurses, and
Try to turn the shoes into a cure.
they try and turn the shoes into a cure. They
when
try and use it
thrown
as a
at stones.
vaccine.
When they throw these new shoes at the stones, they turn them back into humans, but with a slightly more orange tint.
Yes. So they find a way to counteract the disease, and they create this cure out of the shoes, and they run throughout the nursing home. Isaac Clarke has his walker, and Samus Aran is now like 50 years old and married, and she got a little bit overweight because she was eating too many Metroids.
Too many Metroids.
And so basically, both characters are very slow, and that's the survival horror part of the game, is that your character is really pudgy or slow. So Samus is blocking up like half of the screen,
Are you
even
saying
if you're
Samus is
aiming.
fat.
I'm saying Samus is fat in this game.
Ay, ay, ay.
And
Where did she go?
Isaac Clarke is just this old man, and even if he doesn't get hit, sometimes he'll just get heartburn and die. So, there's always this suspense that you might die
Yes.
in the game. And you meet another guy named Spanky McGee, and he has diabetes, type
And-
2 diabetes, and type 1 diabetes. He has both
He
at
is-
the same time.
Which is type 3.
Yes, he has type 3 diabetes, type 1 and type 2 together. So he got diabetes once when he was a kid, and then he got diabetes again when he was an old person.
And his son, Sean Connery, is part of his back. It's either like Siamese twins.
Yes.
Hey,
So,
look, playground.
hey, playground. So, oh, look, there's a T-Rex over there. Let's walk over the
Dinosaur.
playground. All right. So So who were we talking about? It was Sean
Sean
Connery.
Is connected to Spanky McGee.
So Spanky McGee and Sean Connery are the third unlockable playable character if you beat the game on Super Impossible Nightmare mode. And
With a little bit of hell.
and all of the enemies in the game, instead of male nurses with vegetables on their heads, they're plastic dinosaurs on wheels, and they just kind of bump
They have
into
springs on their stomachs.
they have springs on their stomachs, and they kind of just bounce around the hospital. That's really freaky. But basically, to defeat them, you have to sit on their heads, and then they'll
Like so.
just boing out of control, and they won't be able to.
They'll be incapacitated for at least 12 and a half years.
Right. So basically, once you incapacitate all of them, you have to find a way to exit the nursing home, which you can't do because there's a leak in the slide in the playground. So you have to repair the leak in the slide in the playground before you can leave because your character has OCD. And basically...
And procrastinates just
yeah, and they procrastinate all the
too many
time.
times a day.
So basically the game becomes this huge...
Viral cord.
this huge story about how you can't really make up your mind as to whether or not you want to fix the slide or leave, or fix the slide and then leave, or fix the slide and stay there because you like the nursing home and it has good health care and you like the male
And
nurses.
the apple pie.
It's like
phenomenal.
heavy rain, but in a nursing home,
With
basically.
sandals.
With sandals.
With sandals.
With sandals. And
With kittens, too.
and there are a lot of quick time events in which you have to take your medication, and if you take the wrong medication then you can overdose, and you don't die, you just kind of have to wait like 2 real-time hours before your character wakes up. And
That's a long time.
yeah, and there's also, to save your game, you have to take a nap, and that can take days.
Days at a time.
So you
so
want
we'll be playing this game for a long time.
Yeah, it's very replayable. I mean, basically, you can play through the story 10,000 times because there are just so many dialogue choices and so many different ways to play it. You'll never play it the same way again. It's like BioShock with old people and Dead Space and vegetables. It's like a vegan amalgam of evil.
And the final boss is M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, the final boss is M. Night Shyamalan, and to defeat him, you have to sit through his new movie, Devil, with him.
Yes.
And then you have to tell him honestly that it sucks, and then his head explodes.
Can't wait to get to
That's
that boss.
that's the goriest part of the game. But also you run into Kenshiro from Hokuto no Ken, and he
rides a giant orange dinosaur.
he rides a giant orange dinosaur and
Pimples on its back.
with pimples on its back. And he rides this dinosaur, and when he gets pissed off at it, he punches it in the head,
Making it cry.
making it cry and sprout glasses from its eyeballs. And basically, its head explodes, but its head regrows, like it regenerates. So
And while it's exploding, instead of blood, it shoots candy and root beer.
and Isaac Clarke and Samus devour the root beer, and that's the way that you get health. You have to find candy and root beer. And there's this one section of the game where you have game time where you swing on a
Where you
swing,
swing on swings that are very uncomfortable.
and they're very uncomfortable. They're made out of something hard plastic and metal, and they look very uncomfortable. So you get onto them, but you're feeling kind of uncomfortable, and your butt hurts, and you're swinging, but you realize that swinging makes you woozy because you're not very comfortable with swings. So you try and jump off, but you can't because the game design is a little bit flawed.
A little wonky.
And Sean Connery comes onto the screen and he rants to you for 5 hours before letting you go. It's kind of like Mr. Rossetti from Animal Crossing when you reset your game. So that's Dead Space 2, but they're planning Dead Space 3, and I've heard some great things about it, but we gotta stop this video now, so thanks for watching.